What's going on, folks? I'm Automatic. Today we're going to talk about Sakura, the new character that was just released along with Arcade Edition. We're going to talk about fundamentals, and we're going to talk about, well, how I feel this character will perform in the future, if she's a good character, that kind of thing. Dare I say, viable. That word gets me going. So, if you follow this channel, you know I look for three things when I first start playing a character. My general approach are these three things, and that is, how do I anti-air, how do I play the mid-range or zoning or neutral, that kind of thing, and then finally, how do I throw them? And then everything else really seems to branch off in terms of Street Fighter V. Really, everything seems to branch off from there in developing frame traps and set play, that kind of thing. So, Sakura is not very difficult in my opinion, and it seems very, I don't want to say mundane or dry, very simple character in my opinion as of right now. Not very much to her, sorta. So as far as the anti-air department, crouching hard punch. Crouching hard punch. This move is 8 frames. It has 5 active frames. So while it's not exactly a standing jab, it's not like something that comes out instantly. It has a lot of active frames, so you can do it pretty early. So I can demonstrate with this here. Crouching hard punch. It's just like the good old days of CVS2, right? You don't really want to use her DP. They don't have upper body invincibility. You can do them quickly. The jab one does have 4 frames, but it does not have, see, I'm getting counter hit. You do not have invincibility. So the jab DP might be worth considering in some angles. But yeah, crouching hard punch is the easiest one to really anti your opponents. Back hard punch is worth considering because of the crush counter, and you do get a hard punch DP after that if you charge the fireball up. Let's see, we got the jumping medium punch into EX Tatsu. This is more like an air-to-air. You can even do this if you're jumping backwards. So you have also like the jump back light attacks that are even faster but less reward. That's really all there is. You can look at the down forward hard kick. This is 12 frames and the reward is not really worth it. Same thing in my opinion with this up fireball. It's too slow. I think we're looking at 17 for the light kick anti-air fireball. I don't think that's good enough to be able to do on reaction. So I haven't really decided what this move is for. I really don't know. Maybe predicting something if you think they're gonna jump, but even then the reward's not that great. So yeah, I wouldn't suggest it. It's not really there yet in my opinion, but I'll figure it out at some point. But I think that's it. That's really it for anti-air. It's like I'm saying, it's not really that complex of a character. You can buffer this crouching hard punch. You can do a fireball. You can do a Tatsu maybe if you want. And maybe we'll get a little bit into that later. But that's really it for anti-airs. So as far as the neutral, the mid-range, there's a couple pokes you want to look at. Standing medium kick actually has great range. More than her crouching medium punch, standing medium punch. I think more than her standing hard punch as well. So standing medium kick is it's okay. It's, you know, it's like just like a check, I guess you could say. 8 frame startup. It's okay. When you activate the V trigger, it actually has an impressive amount of block stun. I didn't think it would be that high. You can use the frame data tool, and it's plus 11 after the standing medium kick. So that's okay. The other thing is the standing light kick, which I think might have more range than this standing medium kick. It actually does, and it's faster. This is 4 frames. It's pretty insane. This move, the standing light kick. I've heard the word broken get thrown around. I think that's hyperbole, but it is very powerful because it is so fast and it covers a lot of ground, and you can combo into the medium punch DP off of this. So if you can find the whiff punish for this standing light kick, it's great. Not to mention it links off a standing jab, and then you can do the light kick and then medium punch DP. If you have, not to get too far ahead, but if you have V trigger 2. If you have V trigger 2 and you activate, you can do the Tatsu off of that standing light kick there. So just the same. So actually that's not a bad, this does kind of fit in, so I can show that really briefly. I can switch it, right? So that combos standing light kick. So if you have a whip punisher, you can confirm that standing light kick's gonna hit. That will go into that, and then you have this knockdown, or you can choose between a couple other knockdowns we'll go over at a later date. But yeah, standing light kick in the neutral. And just the same way as you're using this medium kick, you can use it to check as well, as they say. Check! Alright, so what else do we got? Fireballs. Obviously, fireballs are something you can use in a neutral. Now, the light punch fireball travels pretty slowly, so you can kind of chase behind it with a dash, or you could just wait and see if they jump and then crouching hard punch like we discussed earlier, crouching hard punch or back hard punch. But as with any fireball, it's risky if they're jump happy, that kind of thing. So there's that. Fireballs, if you charge it from full screen, it does travel, and it's always the same speed no matter what fireball. Last one was a hard punch. This is a last fireball I threw was a light punch. That's the hard punch. They're both the same speed, and you can follow behind it. And if you have the charged fireball, you can juggle anything off of it. If I'm not mistaken, anything will juggle. So you can probably do something like this: EX Tatsu in the corner, and then EX ZT, something like that, right? And then if you're close enough to the corner, that will combo. Something like that. So you always have a juggle property available if that hits there. If not, you know, you can actually look at the frame data here. At that point, I was plus 18 by dashing twice after this. So you have a lot of frame advantage when you throw fireballs, if you charge them up, I should say. But it's not too shabby either if you throw them from a distance. So, you know, without getting into too much about like theory behind throwing fireballs, the other normals that you have, we can look at crouching medium kick. Now you can do crouching medium kick into EX Tatsu. As you can see, it is interruptible. But if they do block, EX Tatsu is safe. You don't have advantage. It's -2. But what you're really looking for is something that actually, where your crouching medium kick hits, and then you get the EX Tatsu. This is one of her best knockdowns. I'll cover this in a later video. But this seems like one of the maybe not a central goal, but it's a very important knockdown for her. You cover so much ground, you dash up twice, and you have frame advantage. And you want that corner position. I think she's very good in the corner, which I'll talk about later. Standing hard kick. This is pretty. I would say it's obvious. It's a little bit comparable to Karen's standing roundhouse. This is 12 frames of startup. You don't really get insane combos off of it. In fact, from a distance, you really just get standing light punch and then standing short. I should show this. So standing hard kick, crush counter from a distance. Should be able to get standing light punch, and then standing light kick, medium punch, DP. If you're close enough, I think you can fit in one more standing jab, but you're +4, I think. You're +4 when you dash up. So if you're really far away, you can do something like only light kick. But if you're really close, I have a friend of mine, shout out to Fumi, one of the greatest Alpha 2 Sakura players. He told me you can do walk up standing medium punch and then back hard punch if you're close enough. I haven't been able to do it. But I would suggest using just walk up and then back hard punch for a little bit more consistency, or yeah, EX Tatsu. I think that's really good. But you have to be close. You can't do that from far away, as far as I know. But yeah, standing roundhouse is a pretty good button. With most crouch counter buttons, if they jump at you while you do it, you're not gonna have an advantage while they're in the air. That sort of idea is that's nothing new. So yeah, standing hard kick. Standing hard punch is decent. It doesn't have the same range as standing medium kick, light kick, or even roundhouse. I think it has less range than roundhouse. But you can buffer it. You can do, I think, okay, that's really good. Light punch fireball. Light punch fireball, and if you have the super, you can confirm it into the super, right? Perfect. So there's that. There's that. Gonna put them on a lot of block stun. So yeah, I think that's pretty much that's 9 frames of standing hard punch, so it's okay. It doesn't crouch counter. You can cancel it into stuff. It's alright. It's a very basic character. Is the reason why I'm a little bit like, not a whole lot going on. And it does make me curious if most of the arcade edition characters are going to be similar to that. But that, I think, well, I should talk about back hard punch too. This isn't a bad button in the neutral if you're close enough, because it's 7 frames of startup, and it does crush counter, and you can cancel it too. So my basic idea as of right now is to do this and then hold out the fireball, and if it crush counters, I'll continue to hold it. But if it doesn't crush counter, then I'll just do the fireball. And if that crush counters, I just hold out the fireball and I do the DP. Now I'm not sure that's the best crush counter combo to do, but it seems very good, like in terms of conservative, and it's good to do if they block as well. So I'm happy with that, at least at the moment. So we got to talk about how you throw your opponent as Sakura. And right now, the generic thing is to find out if you're at +2 or +3 and close enough. And Sakura does not actually have that. She cannot do that. At least not with in a how do you say, a frame trap on block. Crouching jab is only +1. So this is too slow for a throw. If my opponent has a 3 frame normal, I will never be able to throw it from this if they're mashing their jab. If they only have a 4-frame normal, then the crouching jab is perfect. And also this is chainable, so you have to be very, you have to time it just right. Otherwise you'll get standing jab from chaining it. So what this means is that I can't use crouching jab against 3-frame characters if they're mashing. If I use standing jab, I actually do have +2. However, I'm not close enough. Now, I can grab somebody who's mashing a 3-frame because it's pushing them closer to me. But if they don't mash, if they do not mash in this situation, I'll be too far away. So what this means is I don't have a real frame trap into the throw, at least in terms of these light attacks. So what I have to do is convince my opponent to not mash on jab. And the way you can do this, there's 2 ways you can do it. The more punishing way is with standing jab into medium punch. Standing jab and then medium punch. And this sets up your frame trap. So they're mashing the 3-frame, and then my medium punch hits them. And off of that standing medium punch, I can get crouching medium kick without counter hit. With counter hit, I think from this space I can get back hard punch. So from there, I'll do EX Tatsu. As I mentioned earlier, I think this is one of her best knockdowns. Most accessible and better knockdowns, I should say. And if you're close enough, you can get crouching medium punch, which does a little bit more damage than crouching medium kick. But hard punch DP off of that crouching medium kick if you don't have the EX meter available, or if you don't think it's the right choice at that moment. But this knockdown is actually pretty good too in the corner. So that's how you do it. You do standing jab and then medium punch, and then if you can convince your opponent they shouldn't do anything in between it, then you can walk up very slightly and then throw them. Now you can do the same thing with a crouching jab. Maybe somebody's just not mashing, and in this case, you can throw them. That's fine too. So then you would develop frame traps from those 2 things, in my opinion, because that forces them to choose something. And also, this is kind of not really related. Standing roundhouse will do the same thing. I think you'll be at +3. Actually, you know, we gotta do the classic live testing. I want to see if both V-trigger activations are the same duration. So it should be +3, and it is. So I should be able to throw in this situation. Should be close enough. Yep. And that's what you want. That's what you would prefer to have with your light attacks up close. But you know, there's that. So that's really it in terms of throwing them in terms of a block string. Now there is another unique situation with her roundhouse Tatsu, and we'll use this to also talk about other interesting issues she might have. Okay, so roundhouse Tatsu, you can see that it is +2, and it does leave you in range for a throw. So theoretically, this is perfect. This is perfect for setting up a frame trap into a throw. And you can also, since you're at +2, use standing medium punch to frame trap them, that kind of thing. It's great, but you have to consider, how do you get that Tatsu in the first place? How do you get to where you're hitting them with hard kick Tatsu? Now, you want to use like a heavier normal, like maybe standing hard punch. And that works. Crouching hard punch does not work, but this seems like the more accessible normal that I might want to use it with, right? Because it has 5 active frames, and I can cover 2 knockdowns with that. So this is not combo without counter hit. With counter hit, it does. So now it's 4 times, and this is also -2 on block, so it is safe. So now the question is, how do I get a knockdown where crouching hard punch will cover both and counter hit and set me up for this hard kick Tatsu? So you get that very easily off of the hard punch DP. You can dash up crouching hard punch. That'll keep it safe on block, although it is uninterruptible. So let me demonstrate that it covers both knockdowns. So if they're mashing on one or the other, you do have that option to do crouching hard punch. Now this also leads into other things with that. Let me finish my thought there. Did I cover that? I think I got that covered. It's just dash up crouching hard punch. This does not work outside of the corner. And now you set up the throw. It's perfect. I think she's really good in the corner. What else was I gonna say? I think that was it, right? Yeah, I think that about covers everything. There's one more thing, wasn't there? Oh, I guess that kind of leads into the V-trigger 1. Because like I mentioned, that crouching hard punch into the Tatsu is -2 on block and interruptible. That's what I was going to talk about. So if I do crouching hard punch Tatsu, they can interrupt between that. But if I have my V-trigger 1 active, I can substitute that for the fireball. The V-trigger 1 fireball, which is +1 on block, and it will still buffer off of that crouching hard punch. So now we're looking at this. Now we're looking at the activate deletion. Now we're looking at this. This crouching hard punch is going to be both of them, and it's going to be +1 on block. Now this is a similar situation to before. We're +1, which is not enough, but we're close enough for a grab. So we can still frame trap them with crouching jab, and then that will lead into standing medium punch. And then we can convert off a standing light kick, crouching medium kick, or then if we can convince them to block, then we can throw them. So I think that's really pretty much wraps it up. Those are the situations you have to look for with Sakura, where you're close enough and you can grab them. And if you can't do that, how do you convert into something like standing medium punch and then crouching medium? That's really the premise there. So as far as what I think about the character, I think she's fine. I think she's kind of, I'm gonna be real. To me, she's kind of boring. I don't think she's like Zeku is gonna take a while, or Zeku took me a while to figure out in terms of like all the different mechanics he had, 2 different characters. This character, I feel like in a couple days I can, I'm pretty much, I got it. It's no big deal. So it's more of a character that focuses on fundamentals. There will be some set play, especially in the corner, I think. But I don't think she's bad at all. I think she's pretty good, but not really, just an easy character. That's really it. That's about the size of it. And I mean, that's it. I hope we learned something. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I'm automatic. I'm tired.